What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kristian Harloff Show. I am not Kristian Harloff. He is off at a water park with his lovely daughters, having a great time with his family, taking a much-needed break for today because, he's been working so hard on all kinds of stuff happening on the channel. But I am here at some point with the great Steph Sabraw to join me to have fun talking about some of the news stories that have been popping up here in the world of entertainment. We're going to cover some last Conjuring stuff, some DC stuff with Batman and Chris Pratt, and other things down the line as well, like maybe some Bryan Singer stuff, maybe some K-pop stuff, some Demon Hunter stuff. We'll see what pops up here as we're doing the show. But I appreciate you clicking on the view to watch us live here on a Thursday. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into the show here. It's the Kristian Harloff Show, hosted by me, John Rocha, with Steph Sabraw. Here we go. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a fun show here today on the Kristian Harloff channel. It is the Kristian Harloff Show. I am John Rocha, the former outlaw John Rocha here. As some of you know, my channel has changed over from the Outlaw Nation to the John Rocha channel now, fully officially. And of course, later on tonight at 4 p.m. PT, we'll be going live on the hot mic with me and Jeff Snyder. So if you got to get a bit more of a tamer Rocha in this particular forum, but certainly at 4 p.m. PT on my channel, John Rocha says there, Jeff and I are going to be going crazy. But at some point, we will be having Steph Sabraw joining us. She's having a little bit of technical difficulties, but she will be in on the show today. So don't fret. Don't worry. I know there's some of you out here who only tune in to see Steph Sabraw because you're not the biggest fan of me, and that's all right. That's as well. It's a free country. You can like and not like anyone you like, but that's the situation there. So she'll be in just a second, but I'm going to have some fun talking about all kinds of stuff going on here. As I said earlier, we have stuff going on with Conjuring the Last Rites. We're going to jump into some Bryan Singer story as well, some DC James Gunn stuff. And what else have we got on the lineup today? Harry Potter, Chris Columbus weighing in on Harry Potter and why he was fired from 2005's Fantastic Four. There's also rumors growing and getting stronger that Mike Coulter might be coming back as Luke Cage, because we know that Jessica Ritter is back. Kristen Ritter is back as Jessica Jones. And I'll be addressing me personally. I'll be addressing the madness that is going on around the story that I talked about last Monday on this particular show with Kristian Harloff. And maybe we should start there because I think we're waiting for Steph to show up, so I don't want to jump into too many of the topics until Steph shows up. So I'm going to go there. And by the way, we have what do we have to beat? 74, 75? We have to beat Chris Carr's 79, I think is what it was for Super Chat. So if you'd like to help us get to that goal and pass 79, we would very much appreciate it. Let's get to 80, 85 if we can today. And hopefully Steph will be on at some point here as we get this going. But so let's address the first thing, and that is, I know a lot of people have been going crazy with this story over the Avengers Doomsday fight that happened on set. I talked about it last week. I want to make this really, really clear because it's a big enough forum with Kristian Harloff's show. And thank you to John Campea for backing me up and Kristian Harloff for backing me up as well, is that I really just said that last week as a kind of underlining of what we've been hearing about the drama and the controversy behind the scenes on the set of Avengers Doomsday. Jeff has been reporting on some of it. Also, other scoopers have been reporting on some of it there as well. Daniel Rickman, My Time to Shine. Hello. There's a very, where there's smoke, there's fire most of the time, especially when it comes to entertainment. And it seems pretty clear that the set behind the scenes, there's just a lot of drama going on. And, you put that many actors on a set, you bring the Russo brothers back, you put the pressure on that team to be essentially save Marvel. And then you've got Thunderbolts underperforming, Captain America 4 eating the dirt a little bit. And then you have Fantastic Four underperforming. So you're not ramping up to this incredible situation. Yes, maybe Spider-Man Brand New Day will make over $1 billion and Marvel will feel like, hey, we've got ourselves a little bit of momentum, but you haven't done a great job to set up Doomsday or to set up Secret Wars overall. I know there's some of you who are big hardcore Marvel people and you love all the movies that came before, and I totally respect that. I think you That's absolutely great, but we don't know for sure that they've done well. I'm not going to say this, but it's pretty clear to a lot of people that they have not done a great job ramping up because of COVID, because of maybe hiring the wrong creatives, because of not having a strong direction post Endgame, because of the stumbles. Maybe some of you feel the way they've catered to certain underserved groups in our fandom and how they've cast and the storylines they've told. All of the combination and the overall result, because I think the number one thing is the results haven't been great. The product has not been great as it was, and not that the first 3 phases were, or 3-4 phases were consistently amazing. It's more a matter of like the highs were so high that you could ride through the lows. Well, here the highs are not as high, the lows are even lower, and I think there's a lot of mixed reactions to what we've gotten over the last 2 phases. So leading into Doomsday and Secret Wars, there's a lot riding on this. And you factor in Robert Downey Jr.'s appearance at Comic-Con was like half received great and half received not great. And so there was this drama that went on behind that as well. You would want more people to be excited to have Robert Downey Jr. back, but because it kind of felt to some people, to a lot of people, I would say, a little bit of a desperate move, bringing the Russo brothers back, a little bit of a desperate move, bringing one half of the writing team back that got you Infinity War and Endgame and other films. Felt like a little bit of a desperate move. So now it becomes a situation of, well, Marvel fans now, I think I can sense what my belief is, that a lot of them have their arms folded, their eyebrows up, and they're not really sure how this is all going to go down. And so that's why we've been hearing so much drama, I think, coming out of that set. And so I just want to clarify for people one more time, because I see TikTok videos and social media videos still going on and on saying this stuff. But like the fight that I know of that happened on set, and I've got more details on it, which I'll be revealing today at 4 p.m. PT on the hot mic, is that it was not between Ryan Reynolds and Robert Downey Jr. So I just want to make it very, very clear on as big of a forum as I can that it is not between Ryan Reynolds and RDJ. And it's sad that some people took that, ran with it so much that I think Robert Downey Jr.'s people had to issue, or Marvel's people had to issue a statement saying they haven't even worked together. They haven't even met together on set, which I do think is true. So I just want to clarify that very strongly for anybody who might be listening, who runs a TikTok or runs a social media. This is a clarification. It is not RDJ and it's not Ryan Reynolds. It's neither one of those guys, nor is it both of those guys going at it. It's 2 other outspoken actors who got into it, and I'll have more details on it tonight at 4 p.m. PT. Anyway, let's move on and welcome to the show an incredible lady, one of my favorite people on the planet, who's had so many wonderful things happening to her lately, and I'm excited to be back on with her again on the Kristian Harloff Show. That is the great Steph Sabraw. What's up, Steph?
Hi.
Did I do this right? Wait, hold on. And then, yeah, there we go. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I like did you update some of your background?
Yes, I changed some things around.
I really like it.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you? How are things?
Good. I'm excited to be on with you.
You too. You too. What's going on in your world, Steph? What's the update with Steph Sabraw? What can you tell us that's happening in your world?
Not much. I've been finally in the past, I think it's been like a month and a half, posting on YouTube. So the channel's going well. We're on our way and it's been really exciting. But I'm excited to hear the tea on your show today. You know I love good drama.
Yeah, but this
stuff kind of like blown out of proportion.
I had no idea it was going to be this crazy. It really was a toss-off comment last week with Harloff, and the fact that it's become this massive thing where like People magazine is chiming in on it. And by the way, it's fascinating that almost none of these people are tagging me, so I haven't seen like an increase in numbers or anything like that. And people are like, oh, Rocha did this for attention. Rocha did this to get subscribers. I did not. It was literally just a comment. And I had no idea it was going to blow up the way it has. But, I'm trying to clarify it wherever I can because people are running wild with their theories and their beliefs on all this kind of stuff. It's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really think you do anything for subscribers. Like, you're very clearly just yourself.
It's so true. It's so true.
You're like the opposite of a clout chaser, for real.
Yeah, I try. I'm just not built to do it that way.
You're not. And neither am I. I hear you.
Yeah, right? Like I admire people that understand the game and the system and work the
Yep.
system in a way. And there's nothing wrong with it. Go get your bag, go get your subscribers, whatever. But I'm not. It seems like a lot of effort. And for me, where I'm at right now, I'm in this place in my life where I just want to do what I want to do. And then, as it grows, because it keeps growing every month. It's not like I don't pick up subscribers every month. It's just that
Right.
I'm not desperately jumping out there to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it will pay off.
We'll see. We'll see. Either way, I'm able to pay my bills and save money, and that's all that matters because the world is crazy out there.
Right. Right.
So is there anything you want to talk about, Steph? Anything you want to get into before we jump into the news stories, or are you ready to go?
I don't. Kristian just told me that. What did he say? That nothing. That it was like a water park day. That's what he told people.
Yes, it's a water park
Okay.
day.
Great.
With his kids.
Great. I love it. I actually haven't been to a water park in so long. Once I heard nightmare stories from people who work at water parks, and I've never been back. That every morning when they get on site, there's like 100 dead animals in just in the water, just getting caught. Yes, and there's no like actual way to clean that properly.
My God, breaking news, man.
But that might not be at every water park. Hey, and then maybe they cover them now. This was like 6 years ago. I heard this drama, and I was like, "Ew."
Some people are giving us some breaking news. Hold on a second here.
Okay.
Steph. This is. Here we go. Yes, just broke 10 minutes ago. Let's bring this up, Steph, and talk about it. Let me see if I can remember how to share a screen in my old age here. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. Can we get both of us on the screen? Which setting is that?
No, it's just you.
There we go. Boom. Let's do it. The latest Star Wars movie, Star Wars Starfighter, began rolling cameras in the UK Thursday. Oh, okay. So they've gone into production today, with Lucasfilm making the occasion by unveiling the full cast. Okay, we've got the full cast for Star Wars Starfighter. Flynn Gray, Aaron Pierre, Simon Bird, Jamal Westman, Daniel Ings, and Amy Adams are the new additions on the call sheet for the Lucasfilm, which is being directed by Sean Levy and stars Ryan Gosling. Sean Levy said in a statement, "I feel a profound sense of excitement and honor as we begin production on Star Wars Starfighter. From the day Kathy Kennedy called me up, inviting me to develop an original adventure in this incredible Star Wars galaxy. This experience has been a dream come true, creatively and personally. Star Wars shaped my sense of what story can do, how characters and cinematic moments can live with us forever. To join the storytelling galaxy with such brilliant collaborators on screen and off is the thrill of a lifetime. Starfighter is a standalone film not connected to previous Star Wars movies, supposedly, or characters from the so-called Skywalker saga. The films revolving around Skywalker and Anakin. There's, of course, the Star Wars timeline that must be followed. To blah. Mia Goth and Matt Smith were already revealed to be in the cast. So, Steph, Amy Adams in Star Wars Starfighter. I imagine she's probably playing the mother of the young kid, I would imagine. What do you think about this?
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm such a big Amy Adams. There's a few names on there that's exciting.
Go ahead, yeah.
Obviously, Amy Adams is like, she's just probably the longest running. I was trying to look up and double check the list. But Aaron Pierre, also very exciting, just as like a newer actor who's just kind of like shot into this fame very quickly, but kind of cool because I loved Rebel Ridge, and it's kind of great seeing how many people are like saw him from that. I'm sure he's been acting before that, but are like invested in his career and are like, let's just get him on screen. Let's do DC. Let's do Star Wars. Let's go. Amy Adams, that's exciting. I love Amy Adams. Yeah, I would assume because the general storyline of Starfighter obviously is about the pilot, Ryan Gosling, right?
Yes.
And then, but what is the mother part? I missed that with the young kid.
Well, I think it's just basically that he's going to take that young kid and
okay.
And they're going to ride off together. And speaking of the young kid, I should put this up real quick, Steph. This is the shot that was posted along with the announcement right there. Ryan Gosling with the young kid sitting on a land speeder. That's pretty awesome, right?
What a great shot. That's so great.
Look at that.
I love that. So, yeah, it's like, I don't know if I get tired of father figure saving or like a mother figure saving a child. And I know Star Wars is just like, this is our thing, okay?
Yeah,
And we're
that's
just
what
gonna
we
keep
do.
doing it. But the thing about a great story is if it's a great story, it doesn't really matter if you hit some of the same beats.
Right.
And if they find unique character points that separate it from, what we've seen in Mandalorian or the Obi-Wan series, then I think I'm like totally for it. But it
Yeah.
is interesting because I thought they were going to kind of steer clear of that type of storyline, but
Yeah.
that picture excites me. I love that they're shooting on location. And this
Yeah.
newest cast announcement, it feels like they have a great hold on what they're doing, which is
Yes.
kind of all I can ask for from all I want with Star Wars movies is like, I just want you guys to have a plan that you feel so 10 toes down and
Right.
confident, and I'm ready to get back to the theater.
That's a good point. But I mean, this is a very strong cast. Matt Smith,
Yes.
Mia Goth, Aaron Pierre, Amy Adams, Daniel Ings, Jamal Westman, Simon Bird, and the kid Flynn Gray. The kid, this is a child actor here who has been working in stuff since 2022. He was in the Santa stories. He was in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2
Oh
last
my
year.
gosh.
He was in 6 episodes of a series called Borderline, which I'm not too familiar with. Me and Dad, Going Dutch, 1 episode of Sherlock and Daughter, which was a new series that dropped on CW earlier this year, and 1 episode of Wednesday, the opening episode of the 2nd season of Wednesday. He was in there as Omar, one of the Caliban boys. So a young actor.
Wait, let me look at this guy. What?
Okay.
Because I'm watching Wednesday. Are you watching Wednesday?
I have not caught up on the new season. No, I got to catch.
Okay.
There's like it's in the queue. There's like 3 or 4 shows I've got to get through this week and next week to catch up with everything. But yeah,
Okay, it must have been a really small role, or I was just not
yeah,
focused because I don't remember him. But this is like a kid's dream come true, and I think we're at a better place as a fan base where we're not going to bully a child. So I just
yeah,
want to say it from now when the movie comes out, and if you
yep.
don't like this character, just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a
Let the kid
child.
be. Let the kid be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I hope he's awesome. I hope he's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, and just to clarify, because some people are asking, is this official? Yes, this is official. According to Star Wars, it's on their official Star Wars account. It was also broken here on the Hollywood Reporter, or at least what I'm reading right here from Boris Kitt, who is a noted scooper there and journalist at the Hollywood Reporter. So this is confirmed. These are the cast members: Aaron Pierre, Amy Adams, 2 of the notable cast members to be joining Matt Smith and Mia Goth. Flynn Gray, as we mentioned, Simon Bird, Jamal Westman, Daniel Ings, reiterating that as well. So to me, this is, and I even like the picture, Steph. The fact that they went with a black and white picture, it makes me feel that there is a little bit more of a serious approach to this film than, say, just honoring the Star Wars stuff. It feels like they're very much bringing in a strong crew of actors who are well known, which Star Wars doesn't always do. I mean, it's really rare when Star Wars casts well-known actors. It's usually Star Wars that gets them to be well-known. Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher were somewhat known back in the night when they were cast. Of course, Harrison Ford, I think, had done American Graffiti by that point and had a really small part in Apocalypse Now, but wasn't really a household name necessarily. The Star Wars made all 3 of them household names. And then, of course, James Earl Jones had some notoriety on stage and on screen as well before he became the voice of Vader. And then you look at the prequel trilogy. Yes, Natalie was known, but Hayden Christensen wasn't that well known. And then you go and Ewan was known as well. And then you go into the sequel trilogy. We didn't know Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac that well, and that helped them catapult them to superstardom. So the fact that they're starting out in this way, I think, is a fascinating approach to it all. And you're having 2 really strong, multifaceted actors in Ryan Gosling and Amy Adams. And then you throw in an up and comer like Mia Goth and Aaron Pierre, and then Matt Smith, who's really been building his resume on screen, both in House of the Dragon and in other projects as well. So, I'm excited about this overall.
Yeah, it's a very interesting mix. I think it's an awesome mix of like full on A-listers, like you
Mhm.
said, with Ryan Gosling and Amy Adams, and then like Matt Smith and Mia Goth are 2 people that I definitely I love every time they're on screen, and I
Yeah.
want to see more of them. So it's not like I have zero fatigue with them at all, but
Right.
they're established and I think get people excited. And then and within that list, obviously Aaron Pierre is getting
Yeah.
a lot of notoriety, but I think it's just like a good mix of people who it's
Yeah.
like I don't think that we're gonna have like some of people were worried, especially with the first name being Ryan Gosling. They're like, oh, is the rest of the cast gonna be like all at that level? Like we
Yeah.
want new people, and I think it's a nice mix. I do.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think it is a nice mix as well, and it's what you want to see here, and I think it shows Sean Levy's confidence and that actors want to work with him in a project like this. Because Star Wars right now, there's so much toxicity around the brand. There's so much like if you go in there and you don't do a good job, there's a whole fandom waiting to jump on you with both feet. So the fact that these actors are willing to walk into this and because of the trust and confidence they have with Sean Levy and to an extension the Lucasfilm brand, I think speaks volumes, and it makes me feel confident about this project as well. And I think what you said is very important. I hope this machine is ready to take care of of Flynn Gray and make sure he doesn't get any kind of crap and like Jake Lloyd did and is able to survive the experience. And hopefully, if it's a great film, people start to get excited because Mando and Grogu, we're going to get that for sure. And this is
Right.
clearly the next film in the pipeline if they're already starting to shoot the film. So that means that this is the next film that's coming, and then we'll see what happens after that. But if they come out the gate with these two films and these two films are well received, then I think people are going to be much more excited about Star Wars and the things that are coming possibly from Mangold. And we'll see if we get that Rey movie and what form or iteration we'll get that as well. So yeah, I like this idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good mix out the gate between
Mm.
Mandalorian Grogu and this because Mandalorian Mandalorian and Grogu is obviously an extension of Mandalorian, so it's just gonna be kind of like um, it'll be a movie, obviously, but it's
Yeah,
from the TV show, and it's very established characters. People now love Mandalorian and Grogu separately, and
right.
kind of the space that they've created. And then with Starfighter, it's kind of a more like ragtag type story that's smaller, and I think it's
Yeah,
important to have both of those going because they don't quite know yet exactly like they don't have like a full on DCEU new vision. So I think
yes,
and there's like a beauty to that where they don't have to do all major stories that all connect to each other
yeah,
necessarily.
yeah. Do you see any pitfalls right now with looking at the situation, or does the casting and everything like this make you feel now a little more confident that they've maybe found the right mix and the right formula?
Yeah, I feel pretty confident. I think with the rest of the cast announced, I feel even more excited about it.
Mm.
Something about Matt Smith just being a villain probably is really
Yeah.
exciting to me. And Mia Goth is like the horror queen right now. And I feel like there was something about, and even Ryan Gosling is pretty selective on
Yes.
the movies he works on. So it's
Good point.
not like with those 3 actors being like the first 3 named, I actually had a pretty good feeling about it because obviously, there's the case to be made that anyone's gonna be in a Star Wars movie no matter where they're in right
Yeah.
now with the fan base. But I do think that those 3, especially like a Matt Smith and a Mia Goth, don't just like take on anything.
Yeah.
So I feel like that to me was a good sign of a good script that they had received and were like, "Oh yeah, I wanna be a part of this," and
Yeah.
then the rest
True.
of it is just exciting. I really hope it's a smash, honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hope it's a smash as well, because clearly the Star Wars brand needs it, and
Yeah.
I think this would be massive to have it happen. So we'll see. And of course, they're starting production, so I'm sure we're going to start to hear a little bit more about the story, a little more detail, stuff like that coming out of the set. So I think it is time to get excited. Maybe some of you feel cautiously excited about it, but it is time to get a little bit excited about this and see what the end result's going to be. All right. Well, let me go to let's go to a little bit of commercials. Steph will be back with some other stuff here in just a second. So thank you guys so much for watching the Kristian Harloff Show this far. Steph Sabraw on now joining me. But what do you guys think about this story? What do you think about the breaking news here of all these actors coming on? Amy Adams, Aaron Pierre, Flynn Gray is the young kid joining Ryan Gosling, Mia Goth, and Matt Smith. Are you excited about this? Sean Levy as the director and all this. The first photo that was released in black and white on top of a speeder. There's a kind of confidence to that kind of shot. What do you think about all of that? Let us know down in the comments section below. And don't forget that all the stuff that's going on here, to subscribe to Kristian Harloff's YouTube channel and become part of the memberships. There's so much going on, so many benefits you get from the memberships as well. We'll be right back right after this.
I know that you've heard of Viagra. I know you've heard of Cialis. You probably even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, Rougiette Ready. If the usual pills are not doing the trick, Rougiette Ready, it could be the answer. It's a 3-in-1 formula, and it dissolves under your tongue. It absorbs fast. You'll be ready in just 15 minutes on average, not hours, and it effects can last up to 36 hours. If you want proof, over 150,000 men have made the switch, and you can read their customer reviews right on the site. Getting started is simple. Rougiette connects you with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, and if you're prescribed, treatment ships quickly to your door. Now connect with the provider at Rougiette.com/Christian to see if a Rougiette Ready prescription is right for you. You can use that code Christian to get 15% off today. That is Rougiette, Rugiet.com/Christian. Use that promo code Christian, get 15%. Head to Rougiette.com/Christian. Use that code Christian, get 15% off today. Use the code, support the show, and let Rougiette know that we sent you. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rougiette website for full safety information. Shopping for a car should be exciting, not exhausting. Man, between misleading prices, hidden fees, it feels like a maze. This is what I love about Car Gurus. They rank the best deals, they verify dealers, and they make sure that you never pay more than you should. Your big deal, it just became a great deal. Car Gurus will connect you with trusted dealerships when you're ready, ensuring a transparent and hassle-free buying process. They give you control to shop how you want to shop with the tools, the information, and data-driven deal ratings that you need. It's no wonder that SimilarWeb estimated traffic data shows Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That is CARGURUS.com. Cargurus.com.
There you go, Rougiette Car Gurus. Go ahead and patronize them and use the code. You got to use that code so you get the best out and get the discounts that you can use here through the Kristian Harloff Show. All right, let's bring Steph back in. All right, Steph, we're back at it. Let's move on from the Star Wars stuff, and of course, send in your super chats. Everybody, want to make a quick reminder on that. We only have 4 super chats, and we're trying to beat Chris Carr, who has 79. You can't tell me that the combo of Steph Sabraw and Rocha does not merit more than 79 super chats. Come on, people. Send them in. We just dropped the Star Wars stuff. Come on. What do you got to say there, Steph?
Yeah, we got to win today. This would be fun.
Yes.
Come on, guys. I need it.
Yeah, Steph hasn't won in a while. Help Steph win, for God's sakes. Get us over 79. Even if you don't like me, you love Steph. So send in your stuff for Steph, for God's sakes. Get us over 80. Over 79, rather. That would be great. All right, let's move on to this other story here, Steph. Let's jump into some Conjuring news here that's gone on here. And this is a fascinating story as well. The last Rites reactions, they reveal whether it's a worthy send-off for the long-running horror series. The Conjuring: The Last Rites is the 9th and final entry in the $2+ billion Conjuring franchise. And it will see director Michael Chaves, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, step behind the camera to helm the long-running series send-off. The movie promises to deliver another thrilling chapter in the Conjuring cinematic universe based on supposedly real events. Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson reunite for one last case as renowned real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren in what's described by New Line as a, quote, powerful and spine-chilling edition of the franchise. Farmiga and Wilson star alongside Mia Tomlinson and Ben Hardy, who portray Ed and Lorraine's daughter, Judy Warren, and her boyfriend, Tony Spera, as well as Steve Coulter returning as father, Gordon, Rebecca Calder, Elliot Cohen, blah, blah, blah. As we first reported on FearHQ.com, the first social media reactions just dropped. Here we go. They're mostly positive. It's being hailed as the scariest installment yet. It's also being called a perfect ending to Ed and Lorraine's stories. Others were a little more mixed on the movie, describing it as, quote, not as scary and surprisingly dull at times, and, quote, a lesser version of a tired template. James Wan, though, recently explained in an interview, we don't want to be doing this 20 movies down the line where we've driven the franchise into the ground. We love the idea that we're going out with a big bang whilst everyone is still loving the world. Yeah, they're quote Courtney Howard here, who says they saved the scariest emotional chapter for the last with Last Rites. Andre St. Alban says it's a big screen must-see epic conclusion. Terrifying, emotional, thrilling, pure horror magic. Harry Nemerov says it's a solid conclusion to Patrick Wilson. I know what she means when she says solid, and further proves that it's some of the very best casting of all time. Matteo Cote says seems like the social media embargo has lifted for Conjuring Last Rites. Not gonna lie, I was not a big fan, but it might be Michael Chavis's best work. Jonathan Sims says it's a mediocre entry to a long-running horror franchise. Aaron Newworth says being one of the more unexpected cinematic universes to emerge, I was pretty satisfied with how Last Rites wraps things up. And Tessa Smith, my lady over there at Mama's Geeky, said it's not just a worthy entry in the franchise, it feels like the perfect ending. So, Steph, your thoughts when you hear these first reactions to The Conjuring Last Rites here? Does this get you more excited to see it, less excited to see it? Were you even going to see it? And have you seen any of the movies in the franchise?
I was literally looking up if I saw it because a part of me says I've seen one of them. I love Vera Farmiga. I've seen her in one horror film and I was like, wow, she's incredible. And I thought it was The Conjuring, but I can't find it. So I don't know. You guys let me know if you know I saw it. This is the thing, I don't like scary movies, but I remember growing up and The Conjuring did such a good job of establishing itself as like the scariest movie. I heard that around The Conjuring all the time. Like, oh, The Conjuring is actually the scariest movie. It's like, how can you? I mean, that's great that they've marketed themselves like that. I think in the years to come, there's been like really, really scary movies that have come out and kind of give it a little fight. But I do think it's such a great franchise in general, just like as an outsider. And most people feel really happy with a lot of the movies in the franchise from what I'm aware of. It seems like people are thinking the same thing, right? Like that it's the scariest movie of it. That's pretty crazy. That doesn't make me want to see it. That makes me want to see it less. But I love that for the horror nerds out there, because I know they're just like looking for something to make them feel something. So hopefully this is it.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I think the reactions are pretty strong for the most part, and from people I trust when it comes to horror. So that's a good thing. I think I've only seen a couple of films in the franchise of the Conjuring stuff. And like you, I'm not a big fan of scary movies because I got enough scary things in my life. I don't need to add that to the mix. But when they're done well, they're certainly worth it. And I was surprised to see that it's a $2 billion plus franchise. I had no idea. I mean, Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga should be eating well now off of this franchise if it really is a $2 billion plus franchise. That's amazing for all the people involved in it. So, and it is it's one of these franchises that clearly is strong financial franchise, but it doesn't get it's not the same conversation as people bring up like Halloween or Friday the 13th or Scream or all these kinds of things. And it's fascinating because I would argue making $2 billion plus puts you in the conversation with these franchises. So it's fascinating that people don't talk about it in the same way.
Yeah, I feel like it might be to their benefit in some sense, because I do feel like, and I mean this with love, but I feel like the horror viewers don't love super commercialized. It's like once something comes commercialized, they're like think it's feeding the masses and it's no longer cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think The Conjuring's done a good job of being, I don't know, it's like I haven't heard that the sigh of another one of The Conjuring. It's like established itself as like, we're gonna make a movie when we feel like it's a good story, and it doesn't feel like people are exhausted of them yet. And I have read that the main cast really gets along, so that's awesome too. I love when you hear that.
Yeah. I'm looking right now at what is it, bloodydisgusting.com. This is from January of 2024. One of the horror franchises to hit 1 billion. Saw franchise is 1.1 billion. Resident Evil, this might surprise people, is in there at 1.2 billion. It is there at 1.1 billion as well. Alien is up there at 1.6 billion. but The Conjuring is at 2.4 billion. So
That's crazy.
I haven't even mentioned Scream. I haven't even mentioned Friday 13th. I haven't even mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, the fact that it is beating its closest competition by $1 billion, that is, or a little bit under $1 billion, that is surprising on so many levels. So maybe it's time people started talking about this franchise in a different way, in a different context. Yeah, it's massive. I can't believe that it has done that well. I may have to catch up on this franchise.
Yeah, that's pretty. I was surprised. That is a massive number. That's pretty surprising. I guess it's not that surprising because I do see it on Max all the time, or HBO now. God, they have such identity issues. But no, really, like I have such a vendetta against them for changing in the first place. Like, I haven't even talked about this yet. I'm glad I actually have the space to talk about this.
Please.
I have beef with HBO because we all liked HBO. We all liked HBO as it is. It was HBO, the old TV static, and then it left. And it's like, no one asked for you to change that. Then all of a sudden they go Max, which is a name. It's a household name. I have many friends named Max. There's dogs named Max. There's people named Max. There's characters in movies named Max. It's confusing. Not only did they change it to Max, they made us download a new app. My old app wasn't working, and then I had to download a new app. In this generation of I want it now and I don't want discomfort, thanks to things like Amazon Prime, to download a new app was such a massive ask, but I did it. You know why? Because they've had bangers after bangers after bangers, and I respect it. Then they go back to HBO, and it's like, I just don't know. Are you guys going to actually stay like this? Because I need to be able to trust in something. Like, I don't even know what. I just got used to calling you Max, and now we're going back to HBO. They're lucky you didn't make me download a new app. That was the best decision you made, because I don't know if I would have made it.
Yeah, it's an excellent point you bring up, Steph. I think you should have every right to clip this out and make this put this on your channel. That's a very strong statement, and I agree with you. It's so insane how Zaslav has been able to get away with this. Show up, split up the brand, and then go, my bad, y'all. I'm gonna put y'all back together again. And right. now I'm gonna sell you off, because this is what's going to be HBO Max, and this is what's going to be something else. And now we're just going to put it out on the market. So, and who knows, there may be more changes coming, because they're trying to sell WB. And if they sell WB to someone who goes, you know what, we're just going to change it all back to HBO, then you're going to have even more of a, like, what the hell is going on here? So yeah, it's madness. What they've
it is.
Yeah.
Just know who you are. Just know who you are. This is the problem with like hyper capitalism. It's like, can we just have something, so you don't have to fire employees and then bring them back? It's like crazy. I want one app. I want one thing to call you. I mean, you get the chance to change. You do. You got the one chance.
You get to evolve.
Now,
yes.
Right. Yeah. You do. You do get to evolve, and you get to let me know. But it doesn't feel like it's for real interests that I respect. It's like, okay, guys, I need you to show. Anyways, to my point, yes. I always see The Conjuring on HBO. Okay, so they've got that running, and so they're really popular. Yeah. It's true. The 2 billion makes a little bit more sense when you really think about it. It's like it's over a decade now, right? Of them just. Yeah. I remember as a kid growing up when it first came out, and it was that in The Ring that people were like, what the hell? This is like the new, this is crazy. And I remember people talking about it, like, you gotta see, it's like real, it's in the house. Like, it was so crazy how people talked about it.
Yeah, the first Conjuring was 2013. So yes, over a decade that they've been doing these films. Yeah, great point, Steph. Yeah. All right. Well, that's our thoughts on The Conjuring. What do you think about it? Let us know. Send in your super chats. We're up to 10 now. Come on, y'all. We're 70 away from beating Chris Carr. Why does Chris Carr get to rule the week, ladies and gentlemen? Steph Sabraw is here. She is the OG, y'all. Come on, give her some love. Give me some love. Send in your questions, thoughts, and comments about The Conjuring, about Star Wars, about HBO Max, and about, of course, the Avengers Doomsday stuff I was talking about at the beginning of the show. All right, Steph, let's move on to this other stuff. We got some more drama to talk about here in the world of entertainment. James Gunn, I don't know if people know this guy, but he has got some comments yet again, because James has comments. And he was asked about the idea of Chris Pratt possibly being the Batman, as speculation mounts that the Dark Knight will debut in Peacemaker. At the start of 2023, DC Studios announced plans for 10 DCU movies, blah, blah, blah. Creature Commandos premiered late last year. Lanterns is right around the corner with Aaron Pierre, which I don't think we even mentioned when we were talking about him. Waller, Booster Gold, and Paradise Lost are stuck in limbo, although he claims they're still being worked on. Peacemaker Season 2, which wasn't announced, has come to fruition and expected to include some big surprises. Earlier this summer, Gunn said that the second season of Peacemaker is, quote, very much connected to Superman, and it's very much connected to what comes after, and promised fans, quote, one really, really big cameo near the end of the show. Talking to, I'm not even going to try to say that. Gunn doubled down on that by saying we have, quote, some really big stars from the DC universe that are going to be near the end of the season. Now, this might be true because, well, this is probably true because we were sent the first 5 episodes of Peacemaker, and there's some interesting cameos in those 5 episodes. So I wonder what more they've got lined up for later on in the season. But speculation is running wild, with many fans theorizing that the filmmaker is planning to introduce the DCU's Batman. If Gunn has secretly cast the Cape Crusader ahead of next year's Clayface movie, that would be a huge surprise. We'll have to wait and see what happens, though. We're not banking on a Batman cameo, according to comicbookmovie.com. But the DC Studios co-CEO has confirmed that he has no intention of casting Chris Pratt as the Dark Knight. When he was asked about it, he said, quote, as Batman? No. As something else? Yes, he teased. While that may come as a relief to many of you, Bruce Wayne not being cast means the Brave and the Bold is still no closer to becoming a reality over 3 years. But there was another comment he made. We don't have it up here on the screen, so I'm just going to read it because I got it off where is it? Off here we go. When he was asked about the DCU's Batman also recently, he clarified in his comments what is going on. And this is according to Screen Rant. You can see the video on YouTube. He said, we'll have to see what we're doing with Batman and figuring that out. So obviously we know some basics about where it's going with Batman, but we're also figuring some things out. So everything is fluid. So a lot of comments about Batman because everyone wants to know about Batman. Are you exhausted by all of this, or do you appreciate the somewhat update here from James Gunn?
Okay, so I just confirmed what I thought. I'm a James Gunn fan, by the way, so I'll say this. But he's a Leo, guys. This makes so much sense. He's a Leo, and he loves to be in the conversation. And that's why there's so many famous Leos, because they are just like ready to talk. They're ready to have the conversation, and it makes so much sense now. Like, my guy James Gunn is a Leo, and he can't help it. He's just like, he's like, you give him a little teaser of a conversation, and he's like, let's go, let's talk. But I am glad that Chris Pratt, that would make zero sense to me in any universe. And I liked him as Star-Lord. Guardians of the Galaxy is like one of my favorite trilogies. Loved it. Do not see that working at all. What I did see in my head was James Gunn's talked a lot about how he loves the character Batmite.
Oh, yes.
I could see Chris Pratt being actually a really funny Batmite, like a quick little, kind of like a Spider Ham and Spider Pig, and you just like have that funny character for like 2 scenes, and that's it. That could really work for me, and actually could do a lot of good for his reputation. I'd love to see him come back into more of the funnier roles a little bit. But yeah, that makes sense. What I will say, it's like, I do think that there is a lot of confusion with the Batman character as a whole because of the Reeves universe and not exactly knowing what's going to happen fully with Pattinson. What I would like to see, but I know it's kind of confusing just on the way the DCEU is set up and how he wants everything to connect,
Yeah.
is that they just let Matt Reeves have his own little pocket. And then it's so different that I think as a viewer, I don't know, I can't speak for others because I could totally see the argument going the other way. I
Yeah.
think I'd be able to separate two Batmans living in different space and time. One
Okay.
in with the corn sweat Superman, and then we
Yeah.
have a new Batman, and then one in like because the two different um like the visuals of the movies are so, it just feels like they're in two different worlds at two different
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. What are you fatigued about it?
Well, I mean, we talk about it a lot because,
I
as you
know.
said, he won't stop talking. If he stopped talking, we wouldn't be covering him. But he just talks all the time, so we have to cover it and parse out what he's trying to say. And I know there are a lot of James Gunn fans who are just like, whatever he says is the Bible, and I worship it, and I respect it. But we have to be a counter to that on the hot mic for the most part and call out certain ways that James Gunn is talking about things and the things that he's saying. And I think you're right to point out the Leo thing. I'm not surprised by that now that you say it. I never thought to look him up horoscope wise, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's either Scorpio or Leo. They like to be in the middle of
Right.
stuff. Yes, you know that.
Totally. Good job. I'm
You know
proud
that.
of you for knowing that.
Well, I'm on the Scorpio Libra cusp. So
Oh,
so
the Scorpio.
I'm in a passionate search for balance. That's what I say. But this whole situation here,
That's perfect.
the Chris Pratt thing, I never thought that would be a possibility. But I don't understand why people might think that, because The Brave and the Bold is a little bit more in line with like the Adam West, the old school TV version of the Batman. It's a little more slightly camp, a little more accessible, a little more fun. So it's that I can understand going that route if they wanted to go there. It doesn't mean the serious stuff doesn't happen in Brave and the Bold, but it has a little bit more of a camp or humor to it. So Chris Pratt would maybe make sense in that situation. I think where Chris Pratt belongs is Booster Gold. That is the number one thing. I know they've talked about Kumail Nanjiani, and maybe that will happen. Who, Lord knows, he could use it after those recent interviews talking about how much he was devastated by the loss of the Eternal situation. But like, I think he is so fun to play Booster Gold. White blonde guy who is out of touch with how out of touch he really is, coming from the future, thinks he's smarter than he actually is, gets himself into situations. And if you find the right Ted Cord to play the original Blue Beetle, because I think Jaime Reyes is coming back, it seems like what Gunn said, then you're gonna find really great chemistry that would be fun for the DC universe to have. So I think Pratt is much more of a Booster Gold than he is a Batman. But the Batmite thing, that is actually a real fun idea that I would be 1,000% on board with. And certainly he has shown the ability to use people like Bradley Cooper as the voice of Rocket,
Right.
or Diesel as the voice of Groot, or even Stallone as the voice of King Shark, and make it work. So I think that would be a lot of fun to see Chris Pratt coming in. But clearly he wants to work with him. James Gunn does. So at some point we will see him. And I think all the Guardians are going to end up in the DC universe at some point playing notable characters. We'll see how they do that. But yeah.
Yeah, has how am I forgetting her name? Gamora Zoe been in the DCEU?
Zoe Saldana, I don't think she not yet. Not yet.
Okay, because if she does that, she is literally Thanos. Like, she has just collected every major franchise,
That's a good
and I
point.
will be so pumped. I love her.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love her. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, I wouldn't really. It's like it's hard. Chris Pratt's the only one that I feel like some people feel fatigue because he just
Yeah.
had such massive franchises for like 7 years strong, just
Yeah.
being the lead guy. So, but the other ones I wouldn't feel that, but I do feel like James Gunn does a pretty good job of kind of what we were talking about with the Star Wars casting, of doing a mix of really known actors and then kind of more up and coming, which
Yeah.
I think is a nice balance to be had.
Yeah, and I like and I think Dave Bautista is going to end up there eventually. Wouldn't be surprised Vin Diesel. I mean, listen, that Fast and Furious franchise ain't feeding him anymore as like it did before. So I wouldn't be surprised if they find a place for Vin in there. Bradley Cooper is already in there now as as Jor-El, Superman's dad. So,
Right.
step by step, I think. And Palm Clementieff certainly could be in that universe and have some fun with as well. And yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah. Anyway, all right, I almost spoiled something there, but yeah, I'm gonna let it go. Anyway, so that could be a lot of fun, but that's James Gunn's comments on Batman. Let us know what you think. What are your thoughts on James Gunn's comments? Is he talking too much? Do you think it's a Leo situation? Who do you want to see as Batman? What do you think Chris Pratt could play in the DC universe if he was a part of the DC universe? Let us know that. Send in your super chats here as we go along. Come on, people. 13 super chats. We got almost 600 of you watching. Let's get to 80. Send in your super chat. Send in your questions, thoughts, and comments for Steph and I here on the show. All right, let's move on to another story here, Steph. What else have we got in the mix of things? Oh, yes, this Chris Columbus story. So let's get into that. Talking Harry Potter and Fantastic Four from 2005. Here he is. Chris Columbus has helmed many enduring family blockbusters, including Home Alone, Mrs. Doubtfire, and the first 2 installments in the Harry Potter movie franchise. You can probably see why that would make him a good fit to helm a movie around Marvel's first family. The filmmaker was credited as an executive producer on Fantastic Four from 2005, but confirmed in a new interview, quote, that he had nothing to do with it. Columbus intended to direct the Marvel Comics adaptation, but was fired after a meeting with studio execs. He said, "We were in a weird situation. On the first Fantastic Four, I had worked on a script. There were a lot of writers involved. They were about to make a movie, and I was producing it. I met with the director and had some ideas. I basically said, some of this conceptual art should feel more like Jack Kirby, the creator of the Fantastic Four, and should feel more like the Silver Age of Marvel. I left that meeting, and on the way back from my house, I got a call from the head of 20th Century Fox saying I was fired and had too much of an opinion." What? Columbus apparently circled many superhero movies around that time, including Spider-Man and Daredevil. However, being fired from Fantastic Four, quote, probably soured me a little. Over the years, people have done it so well that I personally lost interest in making a superhero movie. It started a little bit with Spider-Man's 2 when I saw what Sam Raimi did. With that, I thought it was a perfect superhero movie. Certainly, Matt Reeves' The Batman with Robert Pattinson was a brilliant film too. I realized I don't have a desire to make those movies anymore because people are doing them better than I ever could at this point in my career. So, what are your thoughts on that, Steph? His talk about getting let go from Fantastic Four because he wanted to do it in the style that eventually would be the style that Matt Shakman did, which was the Jack Kirby 1950s style and the Silver Age style. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's it's always funny to hear the stories all these years later that you would just never think of. And it's so crazy all the stories we're probably going to continue to hear from these major universes like DC and Marvel, because there is that in Star Wars. When you're working with a company or a franchise like that, you have some say, and
Right.
but most of the time you are hired because you're able to kind of fit into what their overall vision is. Now, I don't know, like, I think some people are the exceptions because I feel like Christopher Nolan was kind of given the keys to do his own thing, and that really paid off and it's like exists in its own little place. But I think for the most part, it's really hard for these creators to, they're hired because they have a distinctive vision and kind of style, and then they're very quickly kind of beat down, and we see these changes all the time, and mid filming or production or even post, sometimes you hear about a fallout. So that makes sense. I also totally understand what he's saying in terms of, like, when you see something that you originally felt like you could do because no one was doing it, and then you
Yeah.
see someone do it so well, you're like, okay, like, I think that's good discretion. Like, because really you should be making stories because you haven't seen that story
Right.
told the way you want to tell it. But
Right.
then once it is, it's like, well, now it's like almost impossible not to feel like I'm copying or
Yeah.
whatever it may be. So I get that.
Right. Yeah, I think it's an interesting retcon now to say that, because who's going to verify this with anyone, right, Chris? Well, I had the same idea years ago, but they kicked me off the film for wanting, and I don't know if fired is the right term to use, because it seems like they were still in negotiations about what he wanted to do with the movie. So maybe they just felt the idea of him having too much of an opinion. He's painting the meeting as being just me exchanging some ideas, and they fired me for having an opinion. there was probably more heated back and forth going on behind the scenes. And then the execs were like, yeah, this is not where we want to go. And he seems pretty determined to do it in a certain way. And we think our way, or the way we want to do it, is the better way to go about it to capture what people want to see. Because who knows, if you had done the 1950s Jack Kirby type of energy back in 2005, would people have really been here for it? I don't know. So maybe the executives felt a certain way about it. And they brought in Tim Story, who had only done Barbershop before that movie. He'd also done Taxi, but that's a terrible Jimmy Fallon, Queen Latifah movie. But Barbershop had a lot of buzz behind it, so it was an interesting choice to bring in a black director to take on Fantastic Four. And arguably, there are people who like those two movies and defend those two movies. I don't, but certainly there are a lot of people that did and made millions. So who knows if Chris Columbus would have necessarily done a good job with those movies. And because I also think Chris has a bit of a mixed record himself. I think the first two installments of the Harry Potter franchise are arguably the weakest installments of the Harry Potter franchise. It doesn't really kick in till the third installment, Prisoner of Azkaban, which Alfonso Cuarón did. That was amazing. And so it got on from there. And David Yates, I think, did an excellent job with that franchise as well down the road. So yeah, it's it's an interesting comment. But speaking of the Harry Potter stuff, let's move on to that. He has comments about it because, as I said, he graduated the first two. Oh, sorry, he directed the first two installments of the recent films. He was talking to Variety about the possibility of him being a part of the Harry Potter franchise, and he said, "No, I've done it. You saw my version. There's nothing left for me to do in the world of Harry Potter," because right now he is promoting Thursday Murder Club that is on Netflix right now. But he said he saw the first pictures of this all, and he wasn't that impressed when he looked at the photos of the first photos that were released. He said, "I'm seeing these photographs, and Nick Frost is wearing the exact same costume that we designed for Hagrid. Part of me was like, what's the point? I thought the costumes and everything was going to be different, but it's more of the same. It's all going to be the same." And he was saying that on the Rest is Entertainment podcast there in his comments. So what are your thoughts on that? This is a guy who is connected to the Harry Potter franchise, saying that the costumes and the pictures he's seeing, that there's no new ground being broken here. Do you sense that he is like the first of many who are going to have this feeling about this series that's coming out?
Yeah, for sure. Like I think it's bound to happen. And I think, like we were just saying with the superhero movies, or any movie that you had an idea of and then later someone executed it really well. I love the Harry Potter franchise.
Yes.
I think that it is such a magical franchise, and there's something for everyone. Depending like where you are in your life, there's a movie that really, really works. I happen to like all of them for what they are, especially dealing with like little children at the beginning. They're in like fourth grade, right? So they're so young. But it's like, how are they not going to? It's already in their head. Like, unless they got everyone on set who hadn't seen the movies at all, then you'd have a fighting chance of coming up with something a little different. But because everyone's seen the movies probably more than once, like, ABC Family is responsible for me seeing it about 100 times. So, I mean, as soon as November hits, they're playing Harry Potter movies, and before streaming, like that, it's ingrained in my head. So you have an entire group population that couldn't get away from Harry Potter. So I don't even know, like, it's like if I was on set, it would be, I thought about this, like with different, how do you'd have to, like, I'd have to go to like EMDR training to be like, get the visions of the previous costumes and the mannerisms out of my head, because I don't know how they would do it. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Now, that's not really a make or break for me. Let's say it is kind of almost a copy and paste with a little differences here and there, of course, because I have a feeling it might be like Lord of the Rings extended version, where because the movies missed a lot of parts that the books had, and that was the book readers' biggest complaints. Ginny got the warm side of the pillow the entire franchise. Like, she never got to sleep on the cold side of the pillow because they just kind of like forgot, like didn't include they like showed one moment where she's badass, but like really Ginny's like so awesome in the books. And then there's like a few characters like that, a few storylines like that. And so I'm sure we're going to get like extended versions of that, which will be awesome because it's a series, and that's the beauty of a series and what it can allow and kind of just grow on it. But in terms of like, I don't know, it does seem very, very, it's hard to get away from. Did you read the books? Are you like a fan?
Yeah, I played the character at Universal Studios for 2 years of the
that's awesome.
Yeah, the Wand Keeper. I was the guy in the show who like picks somebody out of the crowd and does the whole thing. And, there's pictures of me doing it. You can see. So I was very proud to be part of that for a very long time in terms of the time I was there, because 2 years is a long time for me. And sitting in there doing that and seeing the experience and how much people love Harry Potter, it really added even newer element to the fandom of Harry Potter that I already had. And I really saw how that franchise emotionally moves people. Like, it's amazing. I had an experience one time with a young woman. I picked her out of the crowd because it's up to us to pick out people who we see as big Harry Potter fans. There's 30 people in a room, and then you're doing your whole spiel, and then you go, I sense magic from you, and you bring them forward. Well, this woman I had chosen, she was there with her 3 sisters. Their mother had just died of cancer and had paid for them to go to Universal Studios as a final gift to them before she passed on. And so they were in tears the whole time as I was talking to them after, because the crowd eventually, the 30 people leave, and then you stay with the person and their family there to talk to them for a little bit before they go. And you give them this whole spiel about how to handle the wand and be careful with the wand and all of that in character. And those are those moments you saw where people were so moved by this thing. And so for me, I really care about the franchise. So the idea that they were going to do a reboot of this TV series wise, I am excited in 2 ways. One, I think Francesca Gardner is a great choice because she was on Succession. So I think they're going to explore more of the darker edges of the Harry Potter franchise that Chris Columbus did not necessarily explore in the first 2 movies. And then Alfonso Cuarón did to a degree, and David Yates did as well. I'm excited to see what more they discover as they're going through the series that they can bring out now and add a bit more maturity to it than people who have just seen the movies might expect from the Potter franchise. So that's what I'm hoping for. That being said, though, I think Chris is absolutely right. There's not much when you look at the newer versions and the older versions, there really isn't that much of a difference. And look, you're not going to stray too far away from it costume-wise, because people will lose their damn minds as we see in our world of entertainment. But still, you want to have something that sparks a feeling that it's new, but also adheres to the original stuff. And those pictures don't make it necessarily look like they stand out. So I get Chris's point, but we'll have to see when the first trailers drop. We'll have to see when the first footage drops, if it feels distinctly unique. Because if it feels like a retread, people are going to turn on this very, very strongly. And if you think you've seen the DC fandom and the Marvel fandom and the Star Wars fandom go insane, start fucking around with Harry Potter and see what happens. I mean, they already went after J.K. Rowling for obviously her comments and what have you. So they'll have no problem going after this franchise with both, feet.
You're talking about Dumbledore's army. Yep. We come in strong. Yep. We're warriors. We're fighters. We've been trained for this, to fight the darkness. But I do leave space for the new generation of kids that maybe haven't seen the movies, and this will be their movie version for them. And then also, there's a good chance that a lot of these kids haven't seen the movies, and hopefully they haven't, because that would be very like the choices that each of the actors made were so what I love about British actors. Like they just take characters and make them so charactery without becoming like caricature. Like that makes sense. Like it's so grounded but out of this world. And I would have a impossible time if I saw like a Hermione and then was like, how do I make that different?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think this is, and you were saying earlier, Steph, how you hope Star Wars protects Flynn Gray. I hope WB has things in place to protect these kids as well.
Yes.
even though the 3 kids they've cast have done stuff before, so they've got experience in the business, you just have nothing that prepares you for the overnight fandom that will come with you with once these things get released. And so I hope they have things in place to protect them, because it's super important to
Yep.
do that with these kids, right?
Yeah. They have nothing to do with how the story's made.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So
Leave
100%.
the kids alone.
Oh my God. Will no one think of the children? All right, let's move on to one more story, and then we'll get into these situations here. What else have we got lined up on the thing? Harry Potter is done. Oh, X-Men director Bryan Singer. Well, yeah. All right, fine. We'll address this one thing. All right, let's get into that because it is on the rundown. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. So X-Men director Bryan Singer has secretly helmed a new movie that could result in a hotbed of controversy. What a surprise. Bryan Singer has been out of the public eye for the past 8 years, but a new report, because of accusations of him doing inappropriate stuff with people underage, but a new report is claiming that the disgraced filmmaker is in the process of planning a comeback. Back in 2023, we learned that Singer was, quote, quietly plotting a return and had been pitching a slate of new films set in and around Israel, where he has been living for the past few years. Details were few and far between at the time, but we now have quite a bit more to go on. According to the Variety, the singer has quietly directed a film starring Academy Award winner Jon Voight that is described as a, quote, period drama revolving around the relationship between a father and son in Greece in 2023. Israel filmmaker Yariv Horovitz is believed to be involved in the project. Here's an excerpt of the report. Quote, a source that has seen the film describes it as a really well-made film with award season potential, but predicts that it's going to be a huge hotbed of controversy due to the subject matter. The source describes the story as set in the Middle East in the late 70s or early 80s at a time when Israel occupied Lebanon. It makes Israel look really bad and could be polarizing. The source adds, another source familiar with the project says the story follows an architect looking for redemption. Singer is also said to be working on a self-financed documentary about himself and his quote-unquote struggles and the allegations of sexual misdeeds and all of that. So this is, Steph, if you want to opine on this, feel free. If you don't want to opine on this, we can move on, but it was on the rundown. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm confused about Singer is the one who worked on X. Is that the one who worked on
Yeah.
X-Men?
Yeah, X-Men.
Okay. Didn't he have like a newer round of tweets like a few days ago about all of them?
Maybe.
I obviously have very strong opinions about this. So I don't know. It seems like the POV. I don't know what the POV is going to be. I was confused. I was getting flip-flopped because at one case I was like, oh, it's going to be like politically charged in the opposite direction. And then one, it was like, no, it's bad, but he's living. I'm confused. So I don't know. Like, it seems like, the idea that artists can't tell stories for fear of like backlash to me, I just think is ridiculous. And the idea that we can't tell certain stories for fear of offense, like if it's based in actual truth, I don't believe in that. So if it's based in historical truth, I don't really care if it makes people look bad. Every nation or body of people most have committed some sort of atrocity. So I don't really shy away from that stuff or get sensitive and soft in that area. But it is like, you have to ask the question, is it going to be propaganda-y or is it actually based in good truth that shares a story that's powerful? And then in that case, then it's like, you should have free reins to tell whatever story you want.
Yeah, I mean, creators should be allowed to create, and it's up to the public to decide if they want to patronize that creation, if they want to go see it, if they want to pay money to see it, if it because apparently distribution for this film is imminent, and so it will happen. And certainly, you're seeing a massive pushback in Hollywood and in our society against anyone who's been accused of anything. People are opening doors to bring them back in. I saw Jeremy Piven on the Tony Hinchcliffe thing on Netflix the other day. I was like, oh, geez. So you're seeing this happen now more and more. Everybody who's been accused of anything now is being walked back into Hollywood. I would not be. And it's sad that Bryan Singer, goes in that direction to work with Jon Voight, which is just an interesting situation within itself. and then they're shooting, and then they've shot a film that is purposely to get some controversy by shooting it in set in the Middle East during that time. This is all for attention. This is absolutely all for attention. Maybe Singer's a Leo as well. I don't know. And so you see that happening in that way. So, this is what we're going to see. And I've said this 100 times in the last few years. I don't know if people really believe it, but Hollywood was never as liberal or progressive as people always thought it was. There's always been people who have conservative point of views, people who are willing to take sides on issues that maybe a lot of liberals, progressives don't necessarily fall on. And so there's always been opportunity for people like that. If you're good, you have to be good. And certainly Bryan Singer has proven he's a damn good director, and Jon Voight has proven he's a damn good actor in years past. So these are the things you see. So them coming together, make a film, not surprised. Will the public respond to it? Will they go see it? I don't know. We're going to find out when it finally gets distribution, or if it just goes to streaming, which is what I anticipate is going to happen after it runs for maybe a week or two in the theater. So, but yeah, it's
if it's like a good story that really tells history in a way that's accurate, and if they do have actual passion and it's not just for just getting attention, then I think it's important. I do, because a lot of like the mega governments we see today that have all the money they don't deserve to be on a pedestal where they can't be criticized. That's not free speech, and that's not how we progress as a world. So, but if it is like an attention seeking thing, then that's gross to me.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, well, let's end on a high note, then we'll get into the questions. Let's talk about this possibility here. I'm throwing this into the mix. Mike Colter is apparently set to return as Luke Cage, but will we see him in Daredevil Born Again? These are rumors that are popping up here that Mike Colter and Finn Jones confirmed that they were in the Big Apple via their respective social media accounts when the second season of Daredevil Born Again was filming earlier this year, leading to speculation that Heroes for Hire might be set to make their MCU debuts in the second season of Daredevil Born Again. Now, Scoopers Daniel Rickman and My Time to Shine Hello are indicating that yes, Coulter will be in the MCU as Luke Cage. Will be returning, but we don't know for sure if he will show up in season 2 of Born Again. This is according to comicmovie.com. We do know that Kristen Ritter will be back as Jessica Jones, so it only makes sense that the Man Without Fear would enlist more of his fellow defenders for backup after Mayor Wilson Fisk declared martial law with the help of his anti-vigilante task force in the season 1 finale. Where have I seen that before? Matt Murdock decided to fight back by assembling a team of his own. The lineup was lacking a bit of muscle, but with the trio of Jones, Cage, and Rand would serve as quite the equalizer, while other characters will ultimately make up Murdock's quote-unquote army. Remains to be seen, but based on what we've heard, there are going to be more superpowered heroes joining the fray. Here's what Mike Colter had to say about his potential return as Power Man during an interview with Collider earlier this year. I still have hopes for it. I don't think about it anymore. I think there's always time. I don't think it's impossible. Anything can happen. So he did post an image of his character on his Instagram stories as well, Steph. So would you want to see Mike Colter back as Luke Cage and Danny Rand maybe a little less so? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't know if I finished Luke Cage. I remember I really liked him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to see him, especially it just also depends on I guess if we're keeping the same Charlie Cox and it's the same age group, and that makes sense. It just depends, like I was gonna say, like what age they're starting at to give them more range, but we're already in this world. So I really did like him as Luke Cage. I think that it would be cool to pull him in with a different writer or a different world, because I remember that the show tonally felt so different from Jessica Jones and Daredevil to me that I was like, okay, like it wasn't bad. It just, I was like, damn, I really like this actor, but the story wasn't really doing it for me in the same way that Jessica Jones pulled me in. Cause I think I went from Jessica Jones to Luke Cage, but I like the actor. So I would like to see him. Did you watch Luke Cage?
Yeah, I enjoyed Luke Cage. I thought it was good. I thought the first season when they made that surprise twist there, I think 7 or 8 episodes into the season, I don't think the show benefited from that, but I liked
Mhm.
Mike Coulter as Luke Cage. I thought he was damn good as Luke Cage. I'm a little less sold on Finn Jones as Power Fist. I wasn't. How can I say this? I didn't hate it as much as other people did, and not that I didn't think not that I thought he was some fantastic actor. It's just that this is comics accurate. It is a white guy. I know a lot of people want to go, let's get an Asian woman in there. I totally respect that. Let's see if it's was it Colleen Woo who might be playing it. Great, get her in there. But like, you've got to be you got to be universe accurate. So maybe they bring in Finn for like a cameo, and then he hands the mantle over. That's possible, just to appease some of the fans. But maybe, just maybe, the guy has grown as an actor over the last few years. And if under some better writing, some better directing, he delivers a better performance, then there's a bit more excitement around it. So I'm 100% down for Mike Coulter. I'm a little less down for Finn, but we'll see if maybe when he comes back, it's a better reception. Because also, it's been so much time. It's been years since those series, Steph. And I think people, you know how it is with time, people kind of lessen their criticism and they open the door. Look how Hayden Christensen's been welcomed back. And so there's just time for all this. So if they make it work with some good writing, some good directing, and hopefully some good acting, then yeah, I got no problems with it all. But Coulter, hell yeah. I'm excited to see him back.
Yeah. I never saw Iron Fist. The only time I saw Iron Fist as a character is I did watch the first season of The Defenders because it played into well, how am I forgetting this?
The Daredevil?
Daredevil, yeah. To Daredevil. So I watched it, and so I didn't get him in his own series. I understood some of the criticism, but he didn't bother me in the way that I feel like other people were bothered.
Yeah. Agreed.
But it's hard to say like how I would feel about. Yeah, it seems like if you keep one, then you'd have to keep the other too.
Yeah, just to make it all work, and then you can move on from there. So we'll see. All right, I think that's all the stories. So let's get into these questions, Steph. We have 20 right now. Hopefully, we'll get to 80 before the show is over. We want to beat Chris Carr at 79, but we'll see as we go along here. And there's 650 of you watching us right now. Thanks so much. But real quick, before we get into the question, Steph, let people know where they can subscribe to your channel and what you got going on here.
YouTube.com/Steph Sabraw. I'm dropping videos Tuesday and Thursday, and then I'm going live on Sunday at 5 p.m. So come hang out. And if, like, what are we at? If 30 of you, right, or 50 of you, let's just get up there, drop a $1 question, then we're moving. So just an idea.
I like it. Yeah, exactly. We're moving. Exactly. There you go. Just to let you guys know. As for me, you can always follow. You can go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. We're so close to crossing 40,000 subscribers. We'd love for you all to come aboard and see all the great content for the John Rocha channel that is happening. We'll have the hot mic later tonight, live at 4 p.m. PT. Definitely talking this Star Wars news and see if we've got more to talk about there and all the other stuff that's going on in the world of DC, Marvel, and entertainment. All right, Gopal says early support, but might be caught up with work. All right, Gopal, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. Boomer Bus says, would you rather be a one-hit wonder forever known as your TV character or do your dream project, for example, write or direct, but it bombs? Go, Steph.
Oh my gosh. I would one-hit wonder for my TV character. Because right, if you do your dream project, is that it, or can I do another one too?
Right.
Because if it's just one thing and my whole legacy is that it bombed, like hell no.
Well,
no.
It's a tricky question because do I want to be Urkel from Family Matters or do I want to be John McClane from Die Hard, right? Or I guess a TV character. So do I want to be Tony Soprano? Do I want to be James Gandolfini as Tony Soprano? Clearly, I would choose the Gandolfini route over the Urkel route. So, but the idea of your dream project, I think if I be successful as a one-hit wonder for a TV character, I would have enough money to make my dream project work. So I would say the one-hit wonder route is the route that I would go as well. I agree with Steph.
Yeah.
I'm Two Fly Cam says Aaron Pierre in Star Wars. He's my favorite up-and-coming actor next to David Johnson. Much more excited for this movie than Mando. Too many member berries. I don't know what that means. Too manly.
I'm so with you on the David Johnson. When I saw him in Alien Romulus, I was blown away. I was
Yeah.
like, who the hell is this? He is crazy.
Yeah.
And then I hear that in the new Stephen King adapted movie, he's
yeah.
amazing in that too. So yeah, I'm so excited for him. I think he's awesome. And then Aaron Pierre, Aaron Pierre has the face card that Hollywood loves, so that felt like a direct path. Like once he like, he looks like an action figure, so it just makes sense that you put him in all these action movies. David Johnson has like that more like indie look, but I'm like, oh my God, put him in everything. Like, I just think he's so amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about him possibly as the new Black Panther, David Johnson, which I think would be really interesting if he's playing T'Challa's child, or if he's playing another version of Black Panther in another universe that they're going to bring into the main universe through what's going on with Secret Wars. We will see with that. Ben Berkowitz says, hello, Steph and Rocha. I'm seeing Oasis Sunday. Thanks for recommending Deadly Maybe on your show, John. Looking forward to a Liam Knoll murder mystery. Yeah, this is something I talked about on my show, The Truth, over the weekend. I went to a book, the first ever KPBS San Diego Book Fair at the University of California in San Diego. It was such a great experience walking around the quad, talking to authors. And one of the authors I spoke to was a guy who wrote a murder mystery where the Gallagher brothers solve the mystery during one of their concerts. Like, they get involved in all of this stuff and fascinating stuff. So hopefully,
that's cool.
Yeah. I thought that was a really fun thing to see those guys coming together. So hopefully you enjoy it, Ben. Let me know if you had fun with that book. I'll report back to the author who I'm talking to. Dane Smith, thank you, Dane. Appreciate it. Seattle KO says, let's go, Rocha and Steph. The trailer for Begonia just released, but I think I found my next anticipated film for the fall next to Good Boy. What are your most anticipated movies for the fall? Yeah, Steph, do you have any on hand right now that you can think of that you're looking forward to in the next 4 months that we have left of the year, if you can believe that? The next 3,
well, people on my channel know that I fell in love with Demon Slayer when it first came out. And I got to the Entertainment District arc, and then I just like took a pause, and then I've been waiting to show Harry all of it. So now we're past the entertainment arc. We are catching up, and I cannot wait for the Infinity Castle movie that comes out. I don't know if that's not fall. It's technically still summer in September, but I'm so jazzed about that. What is fall movies? There was some I want to look up a list. 2025.
The Long Walk is one I'm looking forward to. The Downton Abbey film, because I'm a hardcore Downton Abbey person. I hate to admit it to you all. One Battle After Another, the PTA film. I'm looking forward to that one. The Smash.
That one for sure.
Yeah. Did you see
Is Running Man?
Oh yeah, Running Man's this year, November sometime, I think.
Okay, that's and then obviously Wicked, but I don't think that's fall. So
Wicked would be November 21st. So I think that still qualifies because Thanksgiving is around that time, and that qualifies as fall. So yeah, Wicked would qualify. Yeah.
Then definitely that.
Yeah, good call. So we'll see with those films as well. Looking forward to it. And Predator Badlands, which comes out at the beginning of November. Very much looking forward to that one. And the Springsteen movie, which is around my birthday on October 20th. Joyous Romer says, hey, Outlaw, support for you guys, and may the force be with you. Same to you, Joyous.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dane, for more support. Dane also says, shout out to Kristian for his team building skills and all of his talented co-hosts, especially you guys. You all work so well together and are fun to watch, to listen to. Much love.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Hey, Mr. CJ says, off the HBO topic, Steph, tell him why you mad. Tell him why you mad. Okay. Joyous also says, hey, hello, which do you think will be bigger at the box office, Starfighter or Mando and Grogu? What do you think, Steph? Mando or Grogu or Starfighter? Which is going to be bigger?
Oh, Mando. I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like Mando on the first week, but then Starfighter could get really big by the end of it.
That's a great point. Like Mando has the big opening weekend, but then the legs will go with Starfighter. That's very possible. I think the Baby Yoda thing is the X
Yeah.
factor, right? I think people will go
Totally. You're just gonna go because it's at least the people who are casual fans are just like, oh, okay, it's a Star Wars movie. We know these characters. Let's do that.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. CJ says, Steph, what franchise you had the most fun reacting to with Cinepals? Transformers, Fast and Furious, or Pirates of the Caribbean? Ooh.
Okay, Fast and Furious for sure. I'm scarred from There's a few reactions that have made me never ever want to do reactions again, and I know I'm doing them on Kristian channel. I think that you guys are like so much. You provide more grace. I just found, this is why I don't look on the internet. I found there's an entire Reddit thread about how I'm like way too critical and I take the fun out of movies. And I was like, I will literally headbutt you and then throat punch you because I take great offense to anyone ever saying that I am not providing fun. Like, seriously, square up because I am fun. I am the vibe. So, like, religiously, I am a good vibe. And for you to like pick a part of when I'm watching a movie, which I always have grace for, but like maybe one thing in the movie I didn't like, and then they put an entire Reddit thread about how like I ruin it because of one thing in the True Lies. I'm a James Cameron stan. True Lies, there was a few parts I didn't love, but I actually ended loving the movie. But what can you focus on? The two parts I didn't like, and it's like then you make a thread harshing my image of being the good vibe queen. Honestly, like nuck if you buck. It's on site. It's on site, you losers. But I'll do it for this channel because I do love you guys. I know. I'll do. So yeah. Yep. I had 4 shots of
Amazing.
espresso this morning, if you must know.
I love it. Amazing. Casey Grant says we need a Steph rant weekly. Well, you just got one, so enjoy a second
one today. Yep.
Yeah, 2 for 1, y'all. Hey, Mr. CJ says, didn't forget about you, Rocha. I had the privilege of meeting you at Comic-Con last year. Oh yeah, least favorite 2 favorite classic Star Trek movies. Live long and prosper. Thank you. Are
you a Trekkie?
Oh, massive. Yeah, big time.
Okay, can you point me into the direction of what I should start with?
Ooh.
I've never foregone this area of the galaxy, but I feel like it's awesome.
It is. It's tough to know where to start. Obviously, because the first thing I would tell you to do is to watch the original series, but it's so campy and it's 1960s, and there are good episodes and there are not so good episodes. So you'd have to decide for yourself. And then I would say you've got to do the movies, the original movies, Star Trek with the motion picture, and then moving. Because the thing about motion picture is so great. If you've seen the original series, you have those relationships already built in. So the moments that they have on motion picture have some really great really great stuff. But Star Trek II Wrath of Khan, that's the best Star Trek movie ever made. So if you want to have an example of the greatest of this stuff, you can watch that movie. And then I would recommend the 2009 Star Trek that J.J. Abrams did, so you can see what it's like to have the modernized version of Star Trek compared to the original version of Star Trek. And then you can go through there. So I would say start with Khan, move to 2009 Star Trek, and then see if that excites you energy-wise, and then you can decide for yourself if you want to jump into the original series and then Next Generation and whatever. But there's a lot. I mean, because you got Deep Space Nine, Voyager. There's so much to watch from Star Trek Enterprise, which was a Scott Bakula-led series. So there's a lot. But I would say Khan, then the 2009 Star Trek. Yeah.
Okay.
So least favorite classic Star Trek movies, probably least favorite is Star Trek 5, then maybe Star Trek 3, then we go 4, 1, 6, and 2. That's probably my run of those classic Star Trek movies. That's my ranking there. Mike Joyce says, Steph, can we get your best? Hello, Johnny boy. You don't have to do that stuff. That's all right. That's a Jeff Snyder thing. You can leave that.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the Shining quote, but I don't know what that is. No, but that's Hey Johnny.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Stephen says Steph and Kristian should do a reaction to Weapons. Oh yeah, Weapons was excellent. Have you seen Weapons yet, Steph?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm behind. I'm like, I that's the one that I just haven't gotten to theater, but I'm excited about how excited people were about it.
Yeah, it looks really good. Kate it was really good, rather. Kate Eber says HBO will use the same look for the Harry Potter show because WB spent billions on theme parks that would be outdated by new Hogwarts, new costumes. It's an excellent point.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Excellent point, actually. So we'll see what they do with that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I wonder what they'll do. Are they going to switch, in the rides where they have the holographics or like the video playing? Are they going to switch to the new characters?
That's a good point. Or will they add new things to it also? Because the land's already bigger than what it was when I was first there. And I know the Orlando one has really expanded. Like you got Diagon Alley, you've got all kinds of stuff going on in the Orlando one.
Yeah, so they'll probably wait and to see how it's received at least a few years.
Right, good point. Don H says, love Steph's HBO Ranch. There you go.
You feel me.
Of course.
You feel me, though. Right. That's okay. Yeah, the people feel me. It's like, stop this. You don't get another chance.
Unknown says, Rocha, thoughts on Man United's loss to Grimsby Town and Liverpool's start to the season. Love the start to the season question with the defense. And I watched the highlights of the Grimsby game yesterday. What a shock. What a huge shock. And I don't think Ruben Amorim is going to make it out of the international break as the manager of Manchester United. That's my thoughts. Don H, support for all of Steph's rants today. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Dingus McNally. Hey, Rocha and Steph, with only 4 months left of the year, crazy. Which performance, if any, do you think are Oscar worthy for the 2026 Oscars? Ooh. Oh man, that is tough. Who do you have, Steph? Are there any?
Oh my gosh, I need you to go first, Rocha. You're like way more professional at this.
Let me see. Early Oscars predictions. Let me see what we got here. So to jog my memory a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I just was remembering Sinners and an actor that I just feel I would love to see get love. Well, he has he has like literally a decades-long career, but Delroy Lindo. If he could get like a supporting actor, I would be so pumped because he has probably my favorite scene in that movie. And I just thought that was really cool. But you go and then I'll think of some others.
I'm looking at Variety's list, and these are movies that haven't even come out.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet and Marty Supreme, Oscar Isaac and Frankenstein, Dwayne Johnson in The Smashing Machine. Jesus Christ. If The Rock gets nominated for an Oscar after the Black Adam's debacle, it would be such a surprise. Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent, who I loved in Dope Thief, and Jesse Plemons for Begonia, which hasn't even come out yet. And then on the women's side, it's Jessie Buckley for Hamlet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked for Good, Renata Rencive for Sentimental Value. I have no idea what that is, and Julia Roberts for After the Hunt, which would make Kristian Harloff happy. But those are the early predictions right now that people are making. And as I said, these things are not even out yet, these movies. So
yeah, it's so tough right now. Oscar season, it's like, man, they really don't like start considering movies until November. It just feels like all movies don't count. But I think Sinners is probably one of my biggest for what I think the Oscars will recognize, because my other favorite movies are Superman and Fantastic Four, which we know they don't care about. K-pop Demon Hunters. I know because they had the theater run, if they can get that animated slot, that'd be awesome.
I would pick someone from Warfare, but they're all so good in Warfare, I can't pick one person out. And I think people have slept on Michael B. Jordan as well. I mean, he played two different characters in Sinners.
Oh my God, totally.
Excellent.
I think he should. I was going to say that he should definitely be nominated right now from what I've seen. And he did such a great job of just instantly. I think they're two completely separate people. Like the entire time I was watching it, I forgot that it's one actor. He just did such a great job at that. And Ryan Coogler should be nominated because
Yeah,
for so many
100%.
reasons, it was an exceptionally made film,
Right.
but he got people to the theater on an original IP and it nailed it. It's like that really matters.
Yeah. I think Amy Madigan right now is a shoe-in to be nominated for Weapons. I think for Best Supporting Actress, 100%. I think she's a shoe-in for that, and she probably will win it. We'll see.
For what movie?
For Weapons, she's
Oh, yeah,
amazing.
gotta see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buster Barnes is pretty sure the really big cameo is Lex Luthor. Yeah, maybe Nicholas Hoult popping in there at the end of Peacemaker. That could be possible.
Yeah.
ZB says support for Steph's epic rant. There you go.
Thank you.
Trackstar says support for Steph's fun vibes. The audacity.
The audacity. That is the problem with the movie reaction space, though. Really, it's like we all love movies, but if we have one problem or any criticism on a movie that someone loved, all of a sudden we're like soul-sucking losers who are so critical and hard. But then if I just love a movie, which is 99% of the time, and I'm just rocking with it, I'm a shill.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's no winning. Yeah, even listen, just peek behind the curtain. Even when I came on today, there were already 5 people commenting, "Oh, I'm not going to watch this. Rocha's on this. He's going to crap on stuff." And so, every day you deal with this being in the space. If you have any opinions on anything, there is always these people ready to hate on you, ready to hate on what you're trying to do. And it's just so frustrating. It gets so exhausting after a while. But I can't even imagine people like, Mr. Beast, these people with millions of followers, do they even bother going on social media?
But my favorite quote that I just tell myself all the times, it's probably my favorite comedy special, Cat Williams, and it goes something like, if you have 16 haters by the start of summer, you better have 17 by the end, or send your haters my way, because it's like, then you're winning. And I realize it's like we have so many great people in the chat. So many, but the normal people who are like more baseline and not like psycho, they just aren't as loud. And it's just like the name of the game. And I have to remind myself that with politics and everything. It's like sometimes you're like, is everyone like this? And then you're like, no, it's just the people who feel the audacity to Twitter fingers into the screen, and that's just like they're just louder.
Yeah, because I try to be a voice that calls out the nonsense, and by doing that, you're going to get crap. And you're right, and it's people who want to be heard. And I think there is, as people have covered on numerous shows and studies, there is this epidemic where people feel really powerless right now in their lives, and especially young men are being twisted to believe these narratives about what's going on in society. And some people push these narratives in order to make money off these narratives, and don't want to take any responsibility for how the things they say are inciting young men and young women. I've seen female fans too doing this stuff now more recently than ever, to push toxic narratives or attack people personally or go after them or stalk them, or constantly try to berate them. And so you see that going on, and it's unfortunate and it's sad because it really corrupts society from the foundation up. And it's unfortunate. It's nothing wrong with having a different opinion. I think Steph would agree with this. Difference of opinion is totally fine. I think healthy debate, I think, is very important. Condescending, snarky, shitty, toxic, vitriolic stuff, you're doing that for attention. And that's where it becomes a problem for sure. All right. Anyway, let's move on to GoPal, who says, when you said Liam and Noel Gallagher murder mystery, I was expecting one brother to slay the other with or without the jawbone of an ass. Wow. Yikes. Wow. Okay. No, that's not what happens. Boomer Boss says, every day I think about all the people sacrificed in Andor to beat the oppression. Chilling, especially with what's happening in our world every day. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to get into excursions like get political on the show, so I have to honor that. I'm on his channel. But yes, I agree with you 100%.
Totally. And the Emmys can also get it for not nominating any of the lead cast. I am so not over that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Nonsense.
As a fan of White Lotus, big fan. And I think that they should have had a lot of nominations, but not all the nominations. Like, what?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. It's always a bias against any kind of nerd or geek properties. There's always a bias amongst these highfalutin bodies of critics. It's frustrating. Gopal, I remember the first time I tried to stream the last night. The internet said, please God, no, and went out for the rest of the day. Transformers last. Oh, sorry. I remember the last time I tried to stream Transformers the last night. The internet said, please God, no, and went out for the rest of the day.
Oh my gosh. It's like, you don't have to do this. I forget. Is that the one with Mark Wahlberg?
He's at Wahlberg's in two of them. This is the one. Last night's the one that has Anthony Hopkins, who is like giving the whole thing, and Stanley Tucci as Merlin at the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah, that one was fun. It was fun. Yeah. When I saw Stanley Tucci was another character in Transformers, right?
Yeah, earlier
and then
in the series, yeah.
Yeah, and then they reuse him, and I was like, Stanley Tucci as Merlin. It's like I feel like if I was on the improv stage and they're like, that was like a topic, like Stanley Tucci as Merlin, but it was like real. Yeah.
Really go. Oh,
but
man.
It was fun. That was a fun one.
I agree. It was fun. People hate it, but it was fun.
It was fun.
Buster Barr says, really like Sally Hawkins' performance and bring her back. Oh, yeah, the horror film from earlier this year, but probably won't get a nomination. No, because it's horror. Think she's been overshadowed by Amy Ann Madigan, who is also great. Yeah. Yeah, The Weapons is much more of a mainstream accessible horror film, whereas Bring Her Back is much more in the horror niche type thing. And so I think that's why Amy gets much more consideration right now than Sally Hawkins, with you looking at it reality-wise. But I'm not surprised if Sally delivered a great performance. I haven't seen Bring Her Back yet. Did you see that one, Steph?
No, I haven't, but I've heard great things about it. Yeah, it's a bummer. I do wish that they would either make a category for horror or just find a way to recognize it in a way that felt fair, because it doesn't. It's in the same way with like, I don't think all superhero and sci-fi type movies should be nominated, but when they're really great, I do think it should be. I don't know. It's like, why do none of the critics align? It's bizarre.
It's a good question. Johnny Bravo, Steph saying square up made my day. Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know. I need to get into kickboxing or something. I do have a lot of pent up aggression these days. I do.
I love it. I love it, angry Steph. Meerschaum Sinner. Yes, Sinner, Superman, the Fantastic Four are three of my favorites until now, yet I have to still watch Thunderbolts. And Steph, you go, girl.
Thanks, girl. Thunderbolts is solid. I really liked Thunderbolts. It was a really good movie.
Yeah, it's streaming on Disney Plus now if people want to catch up on it.
So,
yeah, highly recommend people watching Thunderbolts. It's so good. And there's a lot of movies that have dropped streaming that people might have missed in the theaters that are out now. So go check your streaming services. There's some great stuff there for you all to watch for sure. All right, well, that's all the questions, Steph. We should wrap it up there and bid adieu unless we get a last. Oh, wait, we got one more here. Gopal says, I'm always surprised Wagner Moura doesn't get like his Pablo Escobar from Narcos. I'm most surprised Wagner Moura doesn't look like his Pablo Escobar from Narcos anymore. I didn't recognize him at all in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the show there with Donald Glover. Yeah. Wagner Moore is the guy in Civil War. If you guys have seen that movie with Kirsten Dunst and Kaylee Spaney. And he's also in the most recent season of Dope Thief with Brian Tyree Henry, which I highly recommend on Apple TV Plus for people to watch.
I need to watch that. Yeah, he's great. Pablo Escobar, I mean, he had to be like, what, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, look bigger and he still wasn't as big as Pablo Escobar. So it makes sense. Yeah, he does look totally different, but I think that's like a sign of a great actor.
Agreed. All right, there we go. That's the last one. Let's wrap it up there. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Well over 700 of you joining us for most of this conversation. Steph, one more time, where can people find you and what you got going on?
YouTube.com/Steph Sabraw. I'm on my way now we're almost, I think, at 3,000. So I'm like, let's push. If everyone here went, then maybe we could get to 3K. So we're moving up.
There you go. Yeah, get over there, everybody. All right, Steph, thanks so much. Take care of yourself. It's great to see you, girl. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, thanks, Rocha.
All right, there we go. That was Steph Sabraw joining me here for this episode of the Kristian Harloff Show. Very honored to work with Steph again. It's been a while since me and her did it up, and of course, she didn't disappoint. 2 fantastic Steph rants you all got today, and the square up. I mean, the square up thing was genius. I love Steph when she gets going on stuff, and really appreciated her points of views on the HBO Max stuff and on all the topics. Let us know what you thought about all the topics and what we had to say about them as well down in the comments section. Remember to subscribe to the channel. And sign up for the YouTube memberships. Kristian giving out a lot of content for you all who become YouTube members. Get a lot of unedited reaction videos and things of that nature. And I don't know what else he's got going on, but Kristian's always thinking of new things to deliver to you all content-wise. So make sure you subscribe and enjoy that kind of stuff as well. As for me, as I said, 4 p.m. PT today on the John Rocha channel, the Hot Mic comes back live. We got so much to talk about now with that Star Wars news that dropped, DC news, Marvel news, movie news overall, and we're going to count down our top 5 summer movies of 2025. So you'll see that today as well on the show at 4 p.m. PT. And I'm going to have lunch with Dan Murrell today. So I will post some pictures of Dan and I hanging out in San Diego and having some lunch later on this afternoon. So it's a busy day, jumping out of here, jumping into the shower, getting dressed, and then jumping out to go see Dan, and then running back to host the show, the Hot Mic here on the John Rocha channel. So thank you all so much. Take care of yourselves. Be well. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of the Kristian Harloff Show here on the Kristian Harloff channel.